Welcome back, everyone. Take a deep breath with me for a moment. I want to start today with a thank you, a genuine thank you. If you were one of the people who watched my video last week about the MSTE position, then you already know what's been going on. As of today, I'm showing a $100,000 loss on the screen. And you know what? The internet exploded. I received thousands of comments, ranging from incredibly kind and supportive to, well, some pretty sharp sarcasm. You guys definitely know how to express yourselves. But seriously, from a content creator's perspective, I have to say this. Thank you for that engagement. From my past experience in advertising, I know that when content sparks a strong reaction, positive or negative, it doesn't just help the channel grow, it also forces us to confront reality. I honestly found it fascinating that bad news for me came with great video performance, financial damage, educational value. That strange balance of life, right? That said, today we need to go a bit deeper. I want to clarify a few things so we can all move forward on the same page. Lesson number one, don't confuse a loss with money lost. I've seen a lot of comments like, "That's so sad," "poor guy," or even worse. I understand where you're coming from, but I want you to be very clear about this. I haven't lost a single dollar. Why? Because I haven't sold. This is a fundamental principle of investing. What you're seeing is an unrealized loss, a paper loss. It exists on a screen, in numbers, but it hasn't become real money leaving my bank account. It might sound like a small technical distinction, but in investing, that distinction is the line between a disciplined investor and a panicked one. Let me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself trapped by fear over a paper loss and sold too early? This is exactly where we must separate emotion from logic. Lesson number two, investment purpose. Budget discipline. The most important thing I want to share today, and what I think many people misunderstood, is what this money actually represents to me and to my portfolio. I'm a finance professional, and this is an educational finance channel. That $100,000 is not my retirement money. It's not sitting in my TFSA or my RSP, accounts that I've carefully built for my future and my wife's future. No, this is my YouTube budget. Think of it this way. Every business has a research and development, R&D budget. That budget exists to test ideas. Some will fail, some will succeed beyond expectations. For my channel, taking a high volatility position like MSTE is my R&D. It's money I deliberately set aside to publicly test strategies, both conservative and aggressive ones. I want you to really understand this. Clearly separating your test budget from your core assets is one of the most important risk management principles there is. You need to know exactly how much money you're willing to put at risk. And if it disappears, it should not affect your ability to pay rent or your child's college tuition. A friend of mine, who's also a professional fund manager, once said, "If losing an investment keeps you up at night, you've already exceeded your risk budget." I sleep just fine because this money has a purpose. Lesson number three, transparency turns risk into value. Running this YouTube channel is a job, and my job is to provide real case studies. Why didn't I just stay quiet, sell at a loss, and make a video called Top 5 Safest Stocks Right Now? Because that wouldn't be honest. And more importantly, as a market professional, I know that the most important lessons aren't learned when things are going up, but when things go wrong. By publicly sharing this setback, I'm doing two incredibly valuable risk management things. One, turning financial risk into educational value. I can now create an entire series on how to manage and recover from a large losing position. That's real-world education. Two, crowdsourced scrutiny. Your sharp critiques, when they're not outright rude, are actually an advantage. Sometimes an anonymous viewer can spot a flaw in my analysis that I missed. That's how we improve. Which brings us to the core theme of the upcoming videos. Recovery strategy. I'm not sitting here regretting the decision. I'm thinking strategically, how do I reduce risk? How do I manage this position? How do I turn a paper loss into a successful case study? In the next video, I'll walk you through the exact steps I'm taking. But before we wrap up this introduction, remember one thing, lesson number four. a professional mindset. No emotion, only method. When I record videos like this, I tend to slow down, think carefully, and choose my words with intention. Some people commented that they could hear regret in my voice. Let me be very clear about that. It's not regret, it's focus. As an experienced investor, and now as a market professional speaking on camera, I force myself to remove emotion from the process. When markets are shaking and you're staring at a $100,000 number, you have two choices: collapse into panic or stand up and execute a plan. I'm focused on one question only. How do I reduce risk in this position? That's a methodological question. It's not an emotional one. One of the worst mistakes I see retail investors make is what we call revenge trading. When you're angry about a loss, you often make another bad decision, doubling down recklessly or jumping into a new trade without proper analysis, just to win back what you lost. That's a dangerous downward spiral. A professional mindset doesn't allow that. We see a problem that needs to be solved, nothing more. That's why I refuse to get pulled into an emotional vortex. Instead, I'm evaluating advanced financial instruments, capital reallocation strategies, and even hedging trades to rebalance risk. What I'm doing, and what I want you to learn, is this: always have an exit strategy, a plan B, a plan C. If your only plan A is hope the price goes up, you're not investing, you're gambling. An important call to action: the power of criticism. Finally, I want to return to the comments section. I've said that I appreciate the engagement, but I really need to emphasize the value of constructive criticism. Building an educational YouTube channel today is incredibly difficult. There are countless voices competing for attention, and I believe in transparency. I want you to learn from my mistakes. So if you see a flaw in my analysis, if you have a risk mitigation strategy I haven't considered, say it. Speak up. Just one small request. Let's keep the language somewhat family-friendly. I don't mind being called a dum-dum or something similar, but comments that are overly vulgar don't add any value. Let's turn the comments section into a place where everyone learns. When you make a sharp, well-reasoned counter-argument, you're not just helping me. You're helping hundreds of other viewers scrolling through the comments looking for deeper insight. That's how we build a truly strong investing community. In the next few videos, I'll break down exactly how I'm using derivative tools to reduce risk and what scenarios I'm preparing for. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss the next part of this MSTE $100,000 case study. Thank you so much for being here, for learning alongside me, and for helping make this channel what it is. I'll see you in the next one.